So today we're going to uncover and unbox something that is quite a feat in gaming. It is something that I have played before and I've quite enjoyed. It's Arkham Horror. We're talking about Arkham Horror, guys. Arkham Horror is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos, for anyone who's familiar with his writings. And it is just, isn't that just the spookiest? I'm a big fan of this game. I'm not a fan of horror games in general, just because I get scared quite easily, but I do appreciate the aesthetic of a good H.P. Lovecraft-based game. There's a little bit of a peek on the inside of what we're going to be looking at today. It's a very interesting game. The mechanics are very interesting. It's like a dungeon crawl, but in a house. The idea is that you are in Arkham, which is a small town, I believe, based in Massachusetts in 1926. So, you know, the swinging 20s where everyone's smoking and having a good time. Little did they know that there's a horror out there that wants to get them. And what's fun about this game is you get to play the horror and run away from the horror. We're going to find out how you do that now. But first I have to open it, which is going to be, oh boy. Try and do this in one clean strike. So there we go. Look at that. So this game, as I said, it's quite a feat. It can take several hours to play, but I promise you, you will enjoy pretty much every minute of those, even the ones where you're getting chased and haunted. Takes a little bit of, there we go. So there's the front again. Slide this over here, because that artwork is just fantastic. The concept art is just amazing. So, yeah, it's amazing and terrifying. And I'm very excited to see how they're going to replicate that kind of same fear that they're experiencing. I don't want to be this guy. I want to be her. She's got a gun. She looks like she'll survive. So, first thing we get when we open the box is the Learn to Play. It's quite extensive, just having a quick flick through. But that's okay, because once you pick it up, and if you're playing with people that have played before, you will enjoy this just as much as those who have played before. So it's very components based. There are a lot of tokens and cards that you need to keep in mind when playing the game, and that's okay, because you can always refer back to this, which I needed to do almost 100,000 times when I first played. So you have a little game overview, learning how to play, a little bit of dialogue, which is very cool. Can't read it back to front. Terrible creatures from beyond time and space threaten the city of Arkham. Players must join forces to beat back the approaching doom. If left unchecked, these ancient evils will rise up and destroy not only Arkham, but the entire world. Simple enough. Just death, destruction, despair. But it's your job to stop that happening, so good luck. So there's little information on the setup, and by the looks of it, as you can see, it looks complex, but once you break it down into its components, it's a little bit easier. We've got instructions on the tokens, how to play, concepts, skills, damage and horror, evade. There are all the different actions you can do, because you'll have to take different actions in phases. Ooh, I'm very excited by the anomalies. That one on the back page. That looks very fun. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Mythos, additional rules. Alright, so there's a lot of information that I'm not going to go through now, otherwise this video would turn into the amount of time it takes to play the game, which is 2 or 3 hours, which we do not have. We are instead just going to look at all the very pretty pieces. So we have the Learn How to Play, and we also have the rules reference, which obviously you reference to the rules, because as I said, very component based, things can get confusing, especially when you're playing against your friends, so you'll be wanting to make sure that you're following through with the rules they have set up. But they've done it in a very concise way. They've done it in a way that even I can understand them, and it takes me a couple times to read through rules and to really pick them up and to put them into action. So that would also take 2 or 3 hours to explain, so we're just going to leave that there and instead just look at the gorgeous artwork, which is also in the front. I love it. I love it so much. All right, this is what you wanted to see. That is a dense amount of components. Look at that. So I'll try and keep it still so you can have a look at it. I'm just getting excited and frantic just looking at it. So we're gonna pop this open and pop out some of the cards. And leave. I know I'm using the knife wrong. I'm excited, I'm frantic. I just wanna, there we go. Alrighty, so just from a glance, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have a little player character tokens. I'm guessing represent you. Reminds me a lot of the murder game that I've forgotten the name of all of a sudden.
Cluedo.
Cluedo. That's the one. It reminds me a lot of Cluedo. And normally I want to be the purple professor.
Professor Plum.
That's the one. I'm going to assume he's not purple, but he'll do. Gandalf. Investigator with an evil mustache, pretty and scared and pretty, and I think, and that kind of looks like John Mulaney. So you can play John Mulaney, everyone. A closer look at the important pieces. Not saying that the player characters aren't important, but what you really want to look at is these guys. So, oh boy, this is obviously the setup for the game, the location that you're in, which will control where you can move as a character and where you can haunt, I believe. More tokens of symbols that represent things that I haven't learned yet, but even they look spooky. This is amazing. You can even pop out the proof of purchase, Arkham Horror 3rd edition, the token that I'm sure we'll need later on. Well, that's a nice little, they didn't have to do that, but thanks guys, they did that. All right, moving on, because we've got quite a lot of these to go through. We've got Easttown, Miskatonic University, and we have Merchant District and Southside. I think Southside's going to be my favorite place to play in if we do. Look at that spooky wookie church. Wow. And the art, the detail, you could just get lost in the detail, to be honest. More Northside, Uptown. And even more tokens. Look at these guys. These are all worth something, and I'm sure they'll mean much more to me when I memorize and soak in all of the rules and regulations. But for now, and you even get to construct things. I love in a game when you do a quick construction before game. That's very exciting. I think I know what this is, but I'm not going to spoil it until I get to a little bit further in. So we've got all of our tokens, which we will punch out eventually. For now, though,
2 minutes left.
Alrighty. We have our condition cards, which there are a lot of. I'm going to take some of these out because there's quite a lot of them. Ooh, alright. To get you excited. Wake Titan. Void Touched. So these guys, ooh boy. Condition cards are some of my favorites, even though I know that's going to bite me when I play it later on because I'm going to wish that I didn't have them. Just for a quick look at them. They're so scary. I really want to play this under candlelight. You don't even have to wait until Halloween to play it either. So these are what really control your game and what really kickstart the gameplay, which are very fun. Leave those guys down there. You can look at them. I don't want to look at them. They're terrifying. We have some information about our characters. they're all packed away in little bags as well too, so you can use later. There you are. Agnes. Calvin. This is not John Mulaney, unfortunately. Daniela. Wow. And it is... Each of them have a lot of special components. Oh, geez. Well, we will only look at those in a sec. But, they've all got attributes. Things like that. They're gorgeous. And then, equally, we have equal as terrifying beasts. Amazing. They've each got their own stories and lore behind them as well, so it would be worth having a look at those and a read of those if you can. We got some dice, some little things to hold your character cards as well, which is very nice. It'll help keep the gameplay clean. Just some little D6s in there. And even more location cards. And by the looks of it, location and condition cards as well. Just as a quick little, you can see those all right. And there's lots of them, so the replayability in this game is insane. The amount of times you can play it and get a completely different outcome as the last time you played it means you can go through this game and pick it up once every week for an entire year and you'll still have an entirely different game. It also depends on who you play with, but there we have it. So we just unmasked the horror that is Arkham Horror. Again, very big game, very hard to summarize because of the depth of play and the amount of detail that has gone into this game. You can tell so much love was behind it. It's fantastically designed and the mechanics are fantastic. So if you want to have a better look at it in store, which I know you absolutely will because I will always be staring at it for the rest of the day, please do come and have a look at it. If you want, even grab your own copy and yeah, have your own go at Arkham Horror and tell me if you survive because Lordy knows I won't. Anyway, you guys have a good afternoon. I'll see you later.